Hi, I'm Captain Monte with Texas Fishing Tips, and this is your weekly fishing report. This Saturday, just to let everybody know, they've got a Haney Boat Owners Tournament, which is a lot of boats on the water Saturday morning. So they also have the Soda Creek Tournament. So we've got two tournaments this weekend. Going to be a lot of boats on the water Saturday. So just everybody just be cautious and respectful of each boaters, and there's plenty of fish out there to be caught. But we've still been working out here at the South and the North Jetties. There have been redfish out here. There have been some Spanish mackerel out here. There's still some kingfish hanging around. So out here at the Jetties, you never know what you're going to catch out here. I've even caught a few mangrove snappers out here. So there have been bull reds and slot reds using cut mullet, cut ladyfish, or even cut menhaden have been working real well. If you find the bigger shrimp, live shrimp has been working out here also. I know the winds are going to be kind of light Friday and Saturday, so my plans is to come out here to the surf. If you get on that third gut and throw over the sandbar into that second gut, been a lot of trout hanging out here right now. Live croaker's been the ticket. We've been working it all the way from Port Aransas all the way out here to what we call the ranch house, right out in front of Mud Island here. That's about the ranch house right here. So live croaker in the morning, catching plenty of speckled trout. If you get up a little tighter with some cut mullet or cut menhaden, the redfish have been out here also. What I look for is the pelicans. If the pelicans are up on the beach, then I'll park right out in front of the pelicans and throw in that third or second gut for my trout. And then once I get my trout, then I'll kind of get rigged up with either a Carolina rig or a knocker rig with the weight right on top of the hook, and throwing cut mullet up here on the beach right there in that first gut. There have been some good redfish out here. There's been some triple tail being caught out here. A couple days ago, there was a lot of menhaden and a lot of mullet working all around the surf right now. There have been tarpon out here rolling on top of them menhaden. If you get up closer to the beach, you'll see all the mullet running them waves. That's a good place to target redfish also, There's been bluefish out here. There's been quite a bit of different activity going out on the beach, but mainly I'm going after my trout and my redfish out here. And if you do hook into a tarpon or a shark, well, that just that's just another fish to add to the list. But all out here on the beachfront is good area, especially this weekend with a lot of boats being on the inside of the bay with the tournament. If you haven't been out here on the beach, just be careful. Don't park right on the bar. You can kind of see that white water breaking. Wherever it's breaking, that's your sandbar. You do not want to park where it breaks. You want to park either before it or after it. So if you haven't been out here, be careful. And also, if you got a guide, he can kind of tell you and show you a little bit more about this beach. But it's a great time of the year to be fishing around the jetties and the surf. You never know what you're going to catch out here. What I've been doing first thing in the morning is I've been going after my trout. Out here from Ransom Point and all the way down to Dagger Point on this outside. There are good trout out here. Live croaker's been the ticket, or if you can put on your favorite soft plastics and work for your trout all the way down from Ransom Point all the way back to Dagger. This outside been holding good trout out here on top of these breakers on the rocks out here in front of Ransom. There's good trout in there also. So those of you that are fishing the tournament this weekend, I usually go after my trout first thing in the morning. As the sun pokes up, then I'll kind of jump on inside, start working here in Redfish Bay around these islands. Cut bait's been working real well. If you find live mullet, that's been working also. But all these little broken islands all through here, good potential areas to catch redfish. So if you don't get them fired up right off the bat, just take your time. Go through there and find the bait. You'll see the mullet working, jumping, and that's kind of what I'm looking for. If there's a lot of bait, well, then that's a little bit hard too. So if I see some bait working, then I'd rather have that than a whole bunch of bait, because they might not find your bait. But all this area inside Redfish Bay is good place to catch your redfish on the inside and then catch your trout on the outside. Not saying there ain't trout on the inside. There are. They just smaller ones and mixed in with the bigger ones. So we do have a new limit on trout, which is now 5 trout, 15 inches to 25 inches, with one being over 25. So if you're not familiar with that, get in your rules and regulations and your bag limits and make sure that you're catching what's on the list right now. So all this area is good area to potentially catch your fish. Stedman's been working real well also. Seems like the tide's going out later part of the day. That's kind of why I want to go get my trout in the morning. And then as that tide is rolling out, then fish just start stacking up, coming out of them flats, and they'll get out here in this deeper water. And any of that area around Stedman's is also working pretty well. I've also been working the wide channel later part of the day from noon to 3 o'clock. Redfish is working this deeper water. Just depending if you see the oyster reefs coming out of the water, that means that water's where it needs to be. If it's going out, you start seeing that grass going out towards the bay, that's a good sign that you're going to potentially get your redfish. So if it's not moving real hard, those of you in them shallow water boats, you can run back here in Brown Root Flats and start working these deeper pockets. Good redfish through here. Cut bait has been working the best, it seems like. Another good potential place to catch a trout is all around Lily Ann, from Port Aransas all the way down to Quarantine Shoreline and working all the way back to Corpus Christi Bayou. Live croaker's been working, and you can just work this shoreline all the way down. If you need your trout, these are all good areas all the way to Trout Bayou. Once you find your trout and you get what you need there, come on back into Corpus Christi Bayou and what we call the Klondikes over here. Good redfish hanging around the Klondikes and the old terminal through here. Been good areas to locate your redfish. These islands out in front of the ICW right through here, also good potential places to catch your redfish. Work the potholes. Don't keep your baits right there in that deeper grass. Try to find your potholes. Set you some baits in them potholes and don't move them. Let them be. And you'll be able to find your reds all through here. But between these islands and the Klondikes and even the backside of California Hole back here in these little lakes, good place to ambush them redfish right now. Back here at the rocks, out here by the Lexington, all the way down to the T-heads. All this area first thing in the morning have been holding pretty good numbers of trout, either free-line and live shrimp or free-line and live croaker. The entrances between these rocks is kind of where we've been catching our fish. If you don't find them there, then you can come out, depending on how the waves are out here in Corpus Christi Bay, start working these platforms. These platforms have been holding pretty good trout out here. There have been some redfish out here. A lot of the reds that have been out here are oversized, right there to that 28 to 34 inches. So, but there have been a lot of trout out here. There have been sand trout out here. So this area out in this Corpus Christi Bay around these platforms have got good potential catching a little bit of everything. We've also even seen triple tail out here this time of the year on these platforms. So all this area out here on these wells have good potentially catching good fish. We've also come down here from Indian Point all the way back to the golf course over here at North Shore. There have been good trout out here. There have been some black drum around the piers. So if you just kind of work this area all the way down around these piers, if the wind is blowing a little bit and there is white water breaking, put them croaker right there or that shrimp right there in that white water. Them fish, for some reason, they like to swim right there in that white water. Seems like that's what we do the best on. Everybody have a safe and and just courteous weekend this weekend. And hopefully y'all be able to find y'all's fish y'all are looking for. Thanks for watching. I'm Captain Monte Graham.